Hey, and welcome to Evolving Through It podcast. I am your host, Nayu B. And if you're in a season of healing, learning, or just figuring it out as you go, you're in the right place. Let's get into it.
Yo, not who I was way back then. If you wanna be the change, it comes from within. Happy when you lose, sad when you win. All I could do is be me and keep evolving. Stay focused, don't slip. Keep evolving. What you see is what you get. Keep evolving. If we don't do nothing else, we keep evolving. Looking for my better self and keep evolving. Not who I was way back then. If you wanna be the change, it comes from within. Happy when you lose, sad when you win. All I could do is be me and keep evolving. Stay focused, don't slip. Keep evolving. What you see is what you get. Keep evolving. If we don't do nothing else, we keep evolving. Looking for my better self. We keep evolving.
Hey, and welcome to episode 3 of Evolving Through It podcast. I am your host, Nayu B, and we have Vito in the house, and we're going to be talking about when you were a child, what did you always say you wanted to be and why? For me, I always wanted to be a flight attendant. When I was little, I always seen like the movies and the flight attendants dressing all cute with their little dresses and stuff. And that was something that even at a young age, I wanted to always be put together and look cute and travel to different places. That was something that flight attendants, they get to do. They get to travel here, there, and everywhere. So as a young child, I always said I wanted to be that because it just looked pretty to the eye. It looked like they're fancy, they're high class with the heels and the skirts and the stockings and the little bow thing on their neck. It looks so cute and put together. So yes, that's what I wanted to be. What did you want to be when you were a
Hey,
child?
plain and simple, I want to be Michael Jordan. I want to be Michael Jordan,
You
Allen
want to be like
Iverson.
Mike?
I had hoop dreams when I was like, I would say around when I could envision my environment and notice what's going on around me. That's when I had these aspirations at that age. I saw Michael Jordan, I would say at the tail end of his career when I was younger. When you're a young boy growing up, you want to do, heavy activity. You want to get out there, you want to jump, you want to get out there and run. You want to get out there and do a bunch of things. You don't want to be held into a box. You want to keep moving. So me watching Michael Jordan run, jump, and do all of these things on TV at the tail end of his career really like inspired me to want to be a basketball player. Um, yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to be at that age. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what I had to do, but when I saw it on TV, it was very intriguing to me. At that age, so I used to go outside and like dribble my basketball and play around and play keep away. Try to take the basketball from somebody, and you out there just running and jumping and doing what a young boy want to do.
Did you
At
did
that
you
age,
did you play some kind of sport when you were in high school?
absolutely not.
You didn't?
No, absolutely not.
Did you play basketball for anything, like for a rec center? Nothing?
Yeah, the closest I've got to like playing, I've played in a park. My mom took me to like a lot of these parks to go like play. I remember one time it was a park called, I think it was Bildersee, and so I think it's somewhere in Canarsie. My mother took me to go like play one time. She just see me dribbling the basketball. She tried her best.
Yeah, yeah.
So she took me there, and I was kind of real raw at that age, and I was playing around with the other kids, and they had a game going there, and I had to be like, I would say 9 or 10. I
Mm,
was very young, so she
okay.
took me there, and they ended up wanting me to be on the team because I guess the coach saw
The
saw me
potential.
dribbling the basketball and doing all type of stuff. So I was playing against players that was going to play that day in the game. So make a long story short, the coach gave me a shirt, and I ended up playing on that team. And it was so crazy. The first start, I don't even know how to shoot. I don't even know the form to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I just see the motion and I tried to
To shoot the
imitate it.
ball.
So as soon as the game started, I don't know what came over me. I shot it from like almost a half court, and I made
And
the
you
shot.
made it. That
And
was
these rims
They
didn't
went
have no
crazy.
nets. It didn't have no nets, and it was just a straight rim. So I had a little bit of a hoop dreams that in an early age. By the time I got to, I would say, 7th or 8th grade, a lot of that stuff went out the
Went
window
away.
for me.
Okay. I played a little sport when I was in high school. I played softball. That was one of my that's the reason why I love baseball now, because that's where my passion for baseball grew. When I was in high school, my ninth grade year, I played softball for Sheep's Head. And I can barely catch the ball. That's what they always used to be like. Now they could barely catch the ball, whatever. But I mean, that was where like the passion for some kind of sport grew in me. I am tall, but I never played basketball a day in my life. So I don't know how to shoot. I try to play against these boys, but I suck. I suck. But how did your younger self picture adulthood? Do you
Wow.
think that you're in the place that you imagined when you were younger?
Um, I would say I didn't think that far. It was only by moments, I would say. Because, when you're a kid, you don't understand like the hard work certain things take.
Hmm.
So it was just by moments. Yeah, in my head, I would say like around 5th or 6th grade, I wanted to be like a basketball player. But it wasn't a thing of me really going for it or understanding what you had to do, or when I'm 30 years old, I want to do this. I wasn't thinking that in that age. At
Yeah. I
that age, I feel like some kids maybe they could think that far ahead, but I was not thinking that
yeah. I
at
feel
that
like
age. It was just moments for me. What I felt like in that moment.
I feel that in New York, to me, this is my opinion. I feel like in New York, you so used to like the hustle and bustle that you're not really sitting down to think, what is it that I want to do when I'm an adult? You know what I'm saying? Like adulthood for me, I think I started thinking about those things maybe like in my late 20s, like what I want to do with myself when I become older. I thought about those things in my late 20s. Maybe I thought about them in my early 20s as well. Like I know I was always a hustler. Like I know I wanted to become something better than what I had at the moment. But I feel like just the routine of every day, like just, doing the same thing, expecting different results, just going to school, coming home. I really didn't have the time to think about what adulthood looked like, because honestly, in all honesty, I already had a child at that age. So I kind of was like pushed into adulthood by the choices that I've made. So I never really had the opportunity to think and say, hey, I want to have 3 children, I want to have a house, I want to have a car. Adulthood looks like, the white picket fence. I don't think I had that opportunity. I think I just kind of like was pushed into it.
And
So
and I also think a lot of times when people are successful, let's say you have kids that they had a dream and they wanted to be basketball players and they wanted to do this. They don't know how their future is going to look. Nobody,
right.
whatever you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you wanted to be something from when you was young. You didn't really. Some people do. I'm not going to say everybody, but majority of people don't know Exactly. I mean, we all don't know how your life
If your
is
life
going to
is going
turn
to
out.
turn
We
out.
don't know how it's going to turn out. So
Right.
a lot of times we see success. We see success stories most of the time, like, oh yeah, this is what I wanted to be, and this is how it's going, and I became this.
Mm-hmm.
We see the winning, but there's a lot of stories of there's probably more stories than the winning, because
Right.
it's only a few of us that will
That
make it
actually make
into
it.
that
Yeah.
into that realm.
Like they say,
You know,
like there's a 1% of people who are successful, and then that 99% is still trying to evolve, trying to figure it out. And that's just how life is. You are always trying to figure something out. I don't think that you ever have all the answers to everything, or you ever have everything figured out, because you always kind of want more out of life. You always want a little extra out of life. So are even when you pictured it to be this way, or you pictured it to be the white picket fence, there's always, you start to realize later on in life that maybe the white picket fence isn't what you really wanted. Maybe you drifted off into something else. So that comes into my other question. Where are you now compared to your childhood dream? Do you feel like you're closer? Do you feel like you're further away, or you just went a completely different path?
oh, I'm nowhere close to that. Obviously, y'all don't even know who I am, so I'm nowhere close to being
A
that
basketball player?
NBA player. Nowhere close to that. I would say this is why I would say as a child, because like in New York, a lot of things is in front of you. You see a lot of things and you experience a lot of things and you want to do a lot of things. So I would say like around fifth or sixth grade, I maybe had the mentality to want to be like, you know what, I want to do basketball, but it just wasn't,
The
something I
influence, the
something I
things.
stick to. Eighth grade, after eighth grade, you go into high school, you just it that's why it's important to have like a good circle around you most of the time, because having a good circle helps push you into a certain direction, but you still got to want it within yourself as
Right.
a kid. You
Right.
still gotta, you still, it's sad, it's, you still have to want it as a kid.
You still
So,
got to want things yourself,
oh,
because
for sure.
your parents could talk to you,
For
they
sure.
can advise you, but if you as an individual don't want to do it, you're not going to do it.
That's why I make my peace with a lot of things, because at the end of the day, you got to realize the work that you put in. If you don't put in the proper work to be these things, you're not going to do it.
Right.
Being an NBA player is very difficult. There's
Yeah.
tons of people playing
It takes a lot of
basketball.
work,
It takes a lot of sacrifice,
a
and I
lot of
didn't
consistency.
I didn't understand that. So back to your question of asking, are you close to what you envisioned yourself as a child? I would say no, absolutely not, because there was a certain type of work you had to put in to be that, and I don't think mentally I was there trying to put in the work I needed to be that. So absolutely not.
For me,
You're not that far from doing it.
I'm
I mean, you
not.
possibly
I'm in the
can.
airline industry, and I possibly could be a flight attendant if I really wanted to. But I feel like at this point in my life, I'm not ready to be that yet, just because I have my children, and I don't want to be away from my kids for a long period of time, or having to figure out the whole, or who's going to watch them when I'm gone, or I don't know if I'm going to be gone for 2-3 days, and then like all the responsibility solely on you. So I feel like right now I don't want to be a flight attendant. I will want to be one, because it's just like the travel opportunities, the getting to go here and there and dressing up cute. Like I said, that's my thing. That's what I like to do. But realistically, that would be kind of selfish of me to do it, because it's just, it takes more than just traveling and all of this stuff. You got a family now, so you got to think about those things. um I feel like I'm not far away, but I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying?
It's still
I'm
a
not there
it's
yet.
still a possibility for you. Like if you had those dreams, or you had those moments where you wanted to be a flight attendant, it's still a possibility for you to go and do that today.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you can definitely take the test, or
Put in the
make
application.
moves to
Right,
doing that, and then you could
right.
live what you once dreamed of when you
Yeah,
was a kid. So
yeah. Is there any part of your childhood dream that's still alive in you today? Do you
um
play? Is that something that you do? Like, do you still play? Do you wake up and dream that you can still? I mean, at this point, we
well,
know you can't be an actual NBA player because you're too old. But the things that you do on a daily basis, does it still?
honestly, I look at it as, we have things that we enjoy doing and that like
Yeah,
keeps us calm. So I got all the packages to watch all this NBA stuff.
Lord,
They
be
put all
watching.
they put all of this, they put NBA, they spread
He
it
he
out
got a he,
amongst
he got a
Amazon.
subscription for every NBA channel and everything. He got Prime, Hulu. He
Listen,
got Netflix,
they
ESPN.
Peacock.
He got a subscription for
So
all the
I love to
NBA.
watch these basketball games, and and just watch basketball being played at the highest level. So I enjoy watching it. I feel like it's what my perfect day would be. It would be to maybe wake up and have a court in my backyard and just see the ball go through the net. Like I would definitely enjoy that. That would calm my nerves and keep me at peace.
That would be
You
my
know,
perfect day. My perfect day would be to honestly get up and get dressed. I think I would enjoy getting up, getting dressed,
and doing the flight
and
attendant
being a
thing.
flight attendant. I
You
I think
probably would get your coffee,
yes.
put on your flight attendant
Put on
clothes.
your little makeup to look cute. Yeah, my hair.
You say that until you run into some of them rude passengers, then you
Yeah,
got to
you're right.
understand that this is your job. It's still a job, but that the good could maybe outweigh the
The
bad
bad.
with that,
Yeah,
because everything, I feel like everything comes with work you got to put in.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
Unless you just sit at home and you get this fantasy money to come in your account, you win the lottery. But
That takes $1 in a dream, and there's a million other people with the same dollar in a dream. So the lottery is
I feel like anything
it can happen, but
you have to work towards that, and that's one thing as a kid I didn't understand till I got older.
older,
I
yeah,
mean older. Even
older.
as a teenager,
You don't
I
understand that,
didn't
yeah.
understand the word. But some people do. Some kids do. You got some kids that have
But
a
I know
business mind,
I
and
don't think that I feel like everything has to be instilled in you. It has to be like a consistency thing. Like if your parent is consistent with doing
not
certain things, then it kind of like you habituate that behavior.
not necessarily not I don't feel that, because I've met some kids like when I was like younger, and a lot of times they will have their own thoughts,
Yeah,
their
that
own
is true
will
too.
to want to do
That
something.
is true because you always kind of like I want to be better than my parents, or I
That could
want
be
to do
a
something better
situation too.
than what I've seen in my environment. So that kind of like pushes you to want to be better because your circumstances probably wasn't the same. You probably grew up in the projects, or you probably grew up with a little bit less than everybody else, and you see that and you like, I want to be better, I want to do more. So you can have that go-getter attitude already
Yeah,
inside of you.
some kids definitely
So
have it
yeah,
at a young age, and I kind of admire that. I admire that the will to want to win at an early age, bro. Like is definitely something that has to be studied, because you have some kids out here that are like, you ever see some kids sometime where you go outside and they just willing to just talk to every adult and ask questions and
yeah,
put themselves in the mix and do what they got to do. Like I admire that, because I didn't have that type of
yeah.
confidence.
Me
That type of
either.
confidence right there as a kid,
I
I don't
didn't
think I
have.
did. I don't
Yeah.
think I had that type of confidence as a kid to be.
I like I told my friends over the weekend, I feel like I am living now more unapologetic than ever, because before I used to be kind of like you kind of like tippy toeing towards life. You kind of don't want to say certain things, so you kind of hold back yourself from doing certain things because you don't know what people are going to say, people are going to think, or whatever. But at this point in my life, I feel like I don't really care what people are going to say. You either got to do it, you got to do it just for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you definitely got to live for yourself and what makes you happy. And
Yeah.
as you
So
get older, you get to come into your
to
own
your own
with that.
self, yeah,
You
you
don't
get
know
to
what
grow. It
age.
grows on you.
You don't know what age or what the time that you will start to be like, you know what, I'm gonna just do what I got to do instead of, you know, do what I got to do and be happy with the outcome and understand there's work that has to be put in to do certain things. Is stuff don't come to you as you would think it would come. In certain situations, it might, you could put in a little bit of tiny work and it will come immediately, or you got to put in a whole bunch of
No,
work and it won't come at all. It
yeah.
might come at that last second when
Yeah,
when you least expect it. So
yeah.
whatever you do, you just got to
I've heard a
do the
lot
work
of
to it.
celebrity stories like that, like like I put in a lot of, I did this, I did that, and it didn't work, and then something drastically happened in my life, and boom, that's when it happened. That's when I became successful, or that's when the leaf turned over for me, or whatever. So I've heard a lot of stories like that, where it don't happen when you want it to happen, but it will happen eventually. Like for me, I know that I've had my shares of, like, I dream big. So I've had my shares of, like, doing different businesses, getting into different stuff. I could tell you out of my hand, I've done a whole bunch of things because I'm trying to, like, find what really works for me, or what avenue I want to go into. And that's part of, being a dreamer. That's part of, like, your childhood dreams. Like, like I said before, you grew up a certain way. You don't want to be like how everybody else was. You kind of want to be different, but it takes consistency, and I feel like that's the part that I lack the most, the
Like when
consistent part.
I used to see a lot of these like rappers on TV and entertainers on TV, I thought the shit was just handed to them.
Hmm.
When you see, especially like when Bow Wow was popping, when we was younger, I see this little kid. He's almost my age on TV, and in my brain, I'm like, yo, how you got there? Like, what did you? I wasn't thinking that deep to be like, yo, I maybe had the thought to be like how you got there,
Hmm.
but I didn't understand how you got
The
there.
work.
Maybe him as a kid, he had this dream within him. He might have still had a good circle, but he had to do it.
Hmm.
It wasn't like given. He had to
Right.
go out there and be on them stages as young and do the work and do it. Yeah, you
Hmm.
had people pushing him, but you
Hmm.
still had to have the mentality to want to do it as a young age. So a lot of times you will see these people do these things. They push entertainers, they push people on TV to you because that's all you see.
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
you have a television or you just hear the news or you hear people talking, I grew up. I could only talk for me, just
Right.
watching TV and seeing these people on TV, and it's like, how did they get there? I wonder what they did to
Right.
get there.
It's
Like,
like the perfect story. It's like Steve Harvey's. Like, I do listen to a lot of his, like, show. I do watch a lot of his shows, listen to his, like, motivational stuff. And he's like the perfect example of, like, you have to go through a lot to be where he had to go through a lot. The man was homeless. He lived in his car. Like, he had to do a lot of stuff before he even got to being the success that he is today. And it takes consistency. It takes like showing up for yourself. And at a young age, we don't know how to do that.
We only
We
see
only
people,
see
we
the
only see the
success.
evolution.
Yes.
We don't see the evolving stage, like you evolving. We only see the evolution, the end product a lot of times.
Clock
We don't see the
it.
middle of what these people are doing to
Yeah.
get there. Like the stuff, everybody want to go with the easy thing of somebody selling their soul or somebody doing this and somebody doing that. What if no? What if that person really just worked hard?
Yeah.
They worked hard. The your universe aligned for whatever you have going on. Like my cousin right now, he got kids that's playing basketball, and I really admire that.
Yeah.
He's doing
The
the work. He has them constantly in the
in
gym.
basketball. Yep.
This they live, eat, and breathe basketball
They
on a
eat, sleep,
serious
shit at the
level.
basketball court.
And I kind of admire that, bro. Like I sit there and I be like, yo, that's how it's supposed to be done. And I'm not knocking my mom. My mom tried, but she just didn't know
Right.
to be like, yo, get up here and go run these miles in the
Right.
morning. Get up here and go do this. I didn't know that. I just think you just hopped on the court and your stamina is already at 100. I'm just thinking that's what happens. This is really what happens. And
But you can see it from like a closer look now that you have a family member kind of like involved in it. Yo, it takes time. It takes consistency. It takes showing up. It takes being at the gym
Yeah.
when you don't want to be at the gym. It takes you putting on family time to be at these events, at these games. Like we had it for a little bit of time with Isaiah. And I could tell you that it takes a lot. It takes a
does.
lot of like
Sacrifice.
sacrifice. That's what I'm looking for. It takes sacrifice. But at the end of the day, when those kids become successful, you will see that it all worked out. It all paid out.
Or not even if they are not successful in that field, they will carry that over into something else and be like,
in
this
life.
this
Yeah.
is what hard work looks like.
Right.
This is
Right.
what being consistent and being on it
This is what showing
24
up for
hours,
yourself
7
looks
days a
like.
week. So
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good. We giving our family props. Like he's doing what he got to do for his kids, and I love that for them. If you can talk to your younger self, what would you tell your younger self today?
I would tell my younger self to just put in the work. You got a lot of things that you want to be is not going to come to you. You have to work hard for it. This is not something that's going to just come out of thin air and apply land on your lap. So me today, I would tell my younger self that always take advantage of the situation, lock in, and whatever you want to be, it takes time and effort, and it's not going to just come to you like that. So I would tell my younger self just to put in work. PIW, put in work.
Okay. I would tell my younger self to keep dreaming. I would tell my younger self that your dreams, you never stop dreaming. Never stop dreaming. Never stop growing. Whatever you can be, you can be that as long as you have consistency. I would tell my younger self to be consistent, because that is something that I lack today. I will say, be consistent, show up for yourself. Don't take no for an answer. Even if somebody tells you no, continue to look for the yes, because in between those no's, there is a yes that's going to come. And that yes could catapult you to be wherever it is that you want to be in life. Like, don't take no for an answer. Keep going, keep pushing, keep evolving. Yeah. And I would always tell myself that I'm proud of I'm proud of where you are, because I feel like that's where we get lost sometimes. We don't encourage ourselves enough. We don't look at our situation and give ourselves credit enough for what we have accomplished. So I will always tell my younger self, like I would always tell my children, I feel like you live your younger self when you have your like it's like what would you tell your kids to do? You know, it's
Yeah.
something like that. Like what would you want your kid to do that you never did? You know, and I will tell my kids to do just what I said before. Don't take no for an answer. Show it for yourself. Always do what's right in your heart. Always do the right thing when people are not watching you.
And
That
don't
too.
follow the crowd. Don't
Don't
be
follow the
afraid.
crowd.
Don't be
That's a
afraid
fact.
to be you, man, because a lot of times you see certain things and you want to do it because somebody else want to do it, so which
Right.
is not bad. It's not
It's
bad, but
not.
you got to learn to
And I feel
be happy with the inside of you.
and I feel like the kids nowadays will follow other things more because they have the Instagram, they have the TikTok, they have the Facebook, they have those things and they see those things and they're like, yo, like you said with basketball, if Mike could do that, I could do this too. You know, like if Bow could be young and be there, then hey, I could do that too. And that was, we were being influenced a little bit, but I feel like they're being influenced a whole lot more now. So they see the people on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok with the money and people telling you every minute, like, this is how you make a $10,000 in a month. Like they
I feel
make it
like
seem so easy.
I feel as if content creating, it gave a lot of people a chance that probably would have never had a chance like back in the day.
Yeah.
It gave a lot of people a chance to do certain things. You have is the thing of, it's like even like what we're doing right now, like talking, and
Yes.
we're somebody out there might want to listen to it and stuff like that. We're not full blown celebrities,
Right.
but in this day and age, it gives. I feel like in this time, it's a what a time to be alive and what a time to grow up,
Yeah.
because there's so much
There's so much
avenue there's so much
opportunity.
opportunities and avenues that you can drive on in this day and age that is endless and is bountiful. When we was growing up, it just seemed like it was, you had to either align yourself with certain things to be successful, or you just didn't know what it takes, or you just
Hmm.
was out of the loop.
Yeah.
So
So now is now it takes, now you have more, like you said, you have more opportunities. You don't have to be aligned with someone. You can just start something just yourself. You literally can just start something yourself and do it, and it might pop or it may not, but hey, you had that opportunity, you had that experience. So yeah, I mean, that's what I will tell my kids. I will tell my younger self, these things come with time. Um, Evolving takes time, growth takes time. With that note, we are going to end today's conversation. Just want to let you guys know to keep growing, keep evolving, and keep believing in yourself. Bye.